Welcome to Nightique. I'm Edward St. Pé. Well, tonight we've got sort of a crossover artist. Outlaw country meets outlaw blues. Mr. Johnny Riley. He plays all across the Southeast. He's from Texas, but he's got family roots here in Mississippi. He's recorded his latest album here in Mississippi, and we're going to get an exclusive interview with Johnny Riley and an exclusive performance hearing him play his guitar. So stay tuned. Johnny Riley next on Nightique.
Since 1849, Carter Jewelers has been a part of Jackson's rich history. Over 163 years later, we've not only survived, Carter Jewelers has flourished. From generation to generation, we've established a tradition of excellence. Our reputation is built on customer satisfaction, service, and trust. Every piece of jewelry is handpicked, so you know you're getting the best value.
Nobody says I do like we do at Carter Jewelers.
Come see us and be part of our history.
Welcome to Nightique. This is Mr. Johnny Riley. Thank you for coming, John.
Thank you for having me, sir.
So, okay, now you are a blues guy, right?
Yes, sir. Blues, rock, if you want to call it, outlaw country.
Outlaw country. So
A little bit of everything.
I mean,
It's a mosh.
This is the first time I've seen an artist that would be sort of a combination of blues and outlaw country.
Yeah,
that's a new amalgamation.
Well, it's blues, outlaw country, rock, because they say they hear blues, but then they'll hear some twang in it, you know, and that comes from my Texas roots.
So you've got a Mississippi connection, and you grew up in Texas?
Well, I grew up back and forth, actually. It was kind of like when Johnny Winters, he had Meridian and then Port Arthur, Texas. Well, I was down in Holday, Zeta, Texas. My dad was actually from Markham, Texas, but my mother was from Clarksdale. And he met my mother in 1963 at Westbrook's Drive-In and flipped her a quarter and said, "Call me when you get 18. And my mother threw it at him. And then she went in and said, "I'm going to marry that guy." And they did that year. And then 3 years later, they had me. And so I had a mixture of Ernest Tubb and Hank Williams and Jimmy Swaggart, and then over here on Mama's side, it was like B.B. King and Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters and, you know, Little Milton, all these cats like that.
So how long have you been at this, I mean, as a professional?
I started playing professional when I was 12 years old. I actually started playing bass, and I traveled with gospel bands, different bands, and started playing bass. That's the first time I really started getting paid. So I've been at it for years, you know.
And then you switched to guitar?
Yeah. Well, I've always played bass, and I always played guitar, but that was what was paying. And that was back when you got $20 a night, 25 a night, 25 a man, 50 a man. You know, if you got 75 a man, you were really, really good.
So what circuit are you on right now? I know you're doing casinos, right?
Doing a lot of casinos, festivals. My management is Carol and Ron Marble from Mississippi Delta Blues Incorporated. And they signed me actually this year to their label. We went to the 36th Annual Blues Awards and got to hang out with Bobby Rush and hang out with Mickey Rogers and all those cats. And I was just like a little fish in a big bowl. I was just like, this is pretty awesome.
So when you're playing with your entire band, tell us, what is that comprised of? What kind of members you got?
Well, I'll say it, I personally think that Evan Leake's one of the greatest guitar players I've ever played with. Evan is an older gentleman. He played with a group called Target. They opened up for Black Sabbath. He's been around forever. But this guy is so quiet and so laid back. He's the only lead guitar player I ever had to tell, "Turn up, Evan." Usually a lead guitar player, you gotta go, "For God's sakes, turn down, dude, you're killing us." You gotta tell him to turn up, but every time you think you have his guitar playing figured out, he pulls out another bag of tricks and does something totally awesome. And he really helps define the sound that I'm looking for. So Evan Leake's my guitar player. I play lead also, but he's my lead guitar player and my band leader. He takes care of the guys and makes sure they got, instead of me having to do it all the time, what they need. And then I have Walter Polk on drums, also Randy Polk, who plays with Jason D. Williams out of Memphis, also played with us the other night and said he'd love to keep playing with us when we would have him in. They're fantastic drummers. And then I have Tommy Davis, my first cousin, who is an excellent bass player, and he's played all over the country, but he's playing with me now full time. So.
Well, tell us about your exploits outside the country. What kind of interest have you had outside the U.S. as far as your music? Europe, for example.
Well, Europe's, you're talking about the new album that just came out. It's called Crossroads of My Life, and I titled it and wrote the words to that, and I put some more music to it other than the original when it first came out. France is calling it Superb. Belgium is saying they love it. I don't know who all, Miss Carol hasn't briefed me on a lot of it, but we're getting really, really good reviews. And we're getting played on FM stations, AM stations. We're getting streamlined on computer. I was just, Holland, they loved it. So I think there's a big magazine going to do a big article on it and on me over in Milano, Italy, I believe it is.
Are you planning on going to Europe soon?
Yes, planning on going to Europe. In fact, she told us to get our passports ready. And so I told my cousin, I said, you need to get your passport ready, man. He goes, I'm getting it. I said, because if you don't, you're going to get left because we're going to Europe. So
that's great.
Oh, man, it's cool. I'd love to go over there. I can't
the
wait.
Europeans have an appreciation for blues, right?
They do, man. They like blues, rock and roll, country. I've got a couple of friends like Jody Booth and different country guys, Texas country guys that went over there and played in France, and some guys that I played with, and they said those guys show up in bowler ties and cowboy hats for the country. They're just really into it. I said, really? And they love really good musicians. But I'm more of a, when I say outlaw country, it's just hard driving, or outlaw blues. It's hard driving. We play it like we feel it. You can't put us in a box.
And you recorded this album here in Mississippi?
Yes, that was really important for me to do that. My mother's from this great state, and I wanted to do it here. My mother and father passed away last year, and my dad passed, and 17 days later my mother passed.
Oh.
And so I wanted to do something, because before they passed, they actually my dad was a holiness preacher, so they kind of blessed me into doing this. They said, go out and play your music, have a great time, just remember who you are. And I said, I will. And so I wanted to do it in Mississippi, so we did it with in Horn Lake, Mississippi, at Blaster Boys Studios. And Barry's a great guy. Him and J.C. Roberts are really, really cool friends of mine. And Evan Leake is actually with them also.
And if someone out there wants to find the music, I guess you're digitally available out there, right?
Yes, you could go to msdeltablues.com and listen to the album, order the album. You can get a hard copy, you can download it. You can also go to johnnyrileymusic.com and you can listen to the album or download it there. It's on iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby. And we're doing pretty good on the albums too. People like it. We had a guy, they really compliment the picture when we took the photo for the album. We actually, Chad Smith took it, and Chad Smith is a great photographer, but the way he did the picture, I'd never seen it. He actually had a camera that they use, the old glass slates that you shove in, and you have to prepare them. So it was the earliest known form of photography. It's the kind they did back in the Civil War. So when he took these pictures, there was one part, his fingers were kind of hot. He touched it, and a kind of little hole came in it. So it's extremely the oldest style of photography known. And so he did that for the album, and it was really cool. One of the deals, there's two dogs laying at my feet. They wouldn't move, so he just shot the picture.
And some of those are black and white, right?
Yeah, they are.
I saw those shots. Those are great shots.
Those were really neat, and everybody's going, what'd you do that? I said, I'm telling you, he took this, it was this big, huge camera, and he put this big cloak over it, and then he'd count, and then we'd have to be still, because if you move your hand, it blurs.
It had a real, a certain feeling to it. It really did.
Well, there is a feeling to it, because that place, he told me, it's his home, and they're refurbishing it, but it's an old stagecoach station in Mississippi, and that's where the road used to run through. But when we took one of the pictures, that's not on the album, but you can see it on my website, where we're all standing there, and they said we looked like, Dr. Hook, or I don't know if you remember Dr. Hook.
Yeah, well, you do kind of look like that group.
That kind of group on the
yeah.
deal. But if you look in the back, there's faces that are appearing in these windows, and I'm not making this up. It's really creepy. But there was no faces in the windows. So when he took the pictures, like you see all this stuff, and he goes, "Oh, they always appear." I go, "What do you mean?" And after we got through, he goes, "Well, this place is haunted." I said, "What do you mean haunted?" "Well, it's not bad. It just makes." I'm like, "Dude, don't worry about me staying here at night." He's like, "Hey, come on out." I'm like, "No, it's okay. That's all right."
It really does have that feel to it.
It has a really neat feel to it. It's very nostalgic. And none of that was set up. The milk can was really on the porch. When I went to his house, there was a cigar box guitar laying in the yard. I was just like, what the? And I'm picking this stuff up, and they don't even think anything about it. He goes, "Yeah, just put it over there." And so we used it as a prop, but it was actually his. They didn't bring it in. It was just actual stuff. The clothes behind me and Mickey Rogers' head was actually their towels. And there's stuff there on the line. So I loved it. I love Chad Smith. I love that house, man. It's just really cool.
What are your goals? I mean, going forward musically, what do you want to accomplish?
I want to win a Grammy. I mean, people say, "Who are you?" I'm Johnny Riley, is who I am. So I want to go as far as I can go with this. This is my dream, my passion, my vision. It's what I love to do. I feel like I was born to entertain people, and I enjoy entertaining people. I'm not into booze. I'm not into broads. I'm not into dope, but I am into entertaining people. I am into touching people. A lady come up the stage one night and said, "Hey, man, you guys are great." I said, "Well, thank you so much." She goes, "No, no, no. I get goosebumps." So you could feel it. And I said, that's what the deal is, if you can connect with that audience.
How do you connect? What's your secret for connecting with an audience?
Well, I usually don't tell people, but I'll tell you. I usually say a prayer before I go on stage, but I really focus on what I'm doing.
What is the prayer?
Well, I usually ask God to really help me to connect and to do things, but when I go out there, but I actually believe in a spirit world, and I believe that kind of stuff, and so what I'll do is I actually focus on that audience and focus what I'm doing, and every time if I'm playing a chord or I'm singing a song, I'm not doing it on autopilot. Now, a lot of guys, you do it so much that you can just go in there and do it and you're done. But I really try to put every bit of emotion, everything that I have, and I usually pick one or two people if I can see them in the audience, ladies or whatever, and I'll sing to them, or I'll watch the audience and read it, and I'll sing to them. You know, I had one lady, I'm trying to remember her name, she's Carol's friend. She loves the song, it might have been The Anger Sets In, or Lonely Is the Night, I think she liked it, and she said, it gets her every time, and I said, good. Because, you know, I think that was a secret to people like George Jones and different ones out there. They would sing, but they would strike a chord within somebody. So me, I just want to sing and go, hey, look at me, I'm a big star. I want to sing to them where it actually touches them and impacts them and they think about the words. Because I don't want to write blues songs, you know, like my dog died and I feel like crap. You know, I want to write something that's got like a storyline to it. Like The Anger Sets In's got a storyline to it. It's Peggy Brown's favorite song. I heard a guy on the radio one day he goes, are you hurt that your wife left? And he goes, no, when the anger sets in, the pain goes away. And I went, that's a hook. And I wrote that down, so I wrote a song with that. So that's how I get my songs. But I really try to.
When the anger sets in, the pain goes away.
Yeah, because like, man, she hurt me, she did it, and all of a sudden you get really mad and you get really upset. Now you're not hurting anymore.
Right.
You know.
For a little while anyway, right?
For a little while anyway. Yeah. I'm like, okay. But my secret to connection, I usually like to look at people dead in their eye. I don't look over them. I like to look at them and sing to them.
Yeah, that's a good secret. Yeah. Connection, direct connection.
Well, if you don't connect with if you connect with them, they'll never forget you and they'll talk about you.
Right. Well, you've got a unique look. You look like a rock star to me. I mean, you've got that look. So, I mean, you got that going right out of the box.
Well, everybody told me, said, you dress ridiculous. And I'm like, well, that may be okay, but so did Jimi Hendrix and so did Gene Simmons. And so I'm tame compared to
everybody. I mean, everybody had a unique style that you can think of it that's in an iconic. When you think of some of the iconic guys of show business and especially for music, they all had an iconic element about that.
Every one of them is strange, including me. I've never met a musician that didn't have some kind of quirk or strangeness to them. They're different. Show people are different people.
Right, exactly right. Now you're going to play. Your band is not here, of course, but you're going to do something as a singular artist with a guitar, right?
Yeah, I want to play for you guys and see what you think about it. I hope you enjoy it, man.
That's great. So what are you going to play?
Well, I think I'll play Lonely Is the Night because that's Ronnie Marble's favorite song. And I actually had a friend of mine, my preacher told me, he said, because when I'm home, I'll go to church and stuff. And he told me he listened to that and he goes, there's genius in that song. I said, there is? He goes, no, you couldn't have wrote that song by yourself. I'm like, no, I did by myself. He goes, no, something from another world helped you write that song. I said, well, we'll just say it's a nice angel that helped me write it. But he really says that he said, man, there's something about that song. He could hear Hotel California. He could hear influences. And in the album, you can hear some influences. Evan Leake was a genius on one of the songs that we did. I'm trying to think of what, and it might have been Lonely Is the Night that we did it, but he put an acoustic guitar in with it and did that southwestern style and blues licks. So when you hear it, you can hear, it's like blues and stuff, but you can hear the Eagles and you can hear different groups. You can hear different things come in. And
well, it's going to be
makes it kind of nostalgic.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear it. And so you're going to play for us when we come back from the break.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Love to, man.
Thank you. Johnny Riley, we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
I'm Dr. Quinn, and I believe in the power of exercise. Many patients ask me if they're going to get high blood pressure or diabetes because their parents had these conditions. I tell them that we cannot control our genetics, but we can control our diet and level of exercise. Practicing healthy decisions result in a better outcome. I'm Dr. Quinn, and I want you to remember that you have control.
when you're blue and all alone. Your demons come to life when your mind is not your own, and you're feeling kind of lonesome sometimes with all your loss and regrets. Sometimes you'd like to end it all, but sing the blues instead. Well, I'm feeling kind of lonesome, angry and confused, and I guess that's why a bluesman sings the blues. Oh, when I look into the mirror, what do you think that I see? It ain't nothing but the blues looking back at me. And I'm feeling kind of lonesome from all the losses and regrets. Sometimes I'd like to end it all, but sing the blues instead. Well, I'm feeling kind of lonesome, angry and confused. Oh, and I guess that's why a bluesman sings the blues. And I guess that's why a bluesman sings the blues. This is the title of the album called Crossroads of My Life. Well, I'm standing at the crossroads of my life. Well, I lost every damn thing on my children and my wife, dog. Standing at the crossroads of my life. Well, I done lost every damn thing I own, my children and my wife. Mama told me not to smoke it, Lord, but I did it anyway. She told me not to play the blues, I'm standing here this way. Whoa, she told me not to do it, oh, but I did it anyway. Now I'm standing down at the crossroads, standing here this way. Some people done told me, Lord, that only the good die young. But I done danced with the devil, you know I done had my fun. Ooh, Lord, people done told me, Lord, said only the good die young. Well, I done danced, my dear, with the devil, Lord. No, I done have my fun. Well, that preacher done told me, Lord, there's a fire down below. I got hellhounds coming after me, they're trying to take my soul, Lord, Lord. The preacher man done told me there's a fire down below. Well, I got hellhounds coming after me, Lord. Well, Well, they're trying to take my soul, yeah. Well, you better get ready, dear Lord, now you know where you got to get right. The light good in the day, people, and cut in the night, oh, Lord. Whoa, well, now you got to get it right. Well, light good in the day, now, good in the night. Lord, I'm standing at the crossroads. Standing at the crossroads. Standing at the crossroads. The crossroads of my life. Well, I done lost every damn thing I own. Ooh, my children and my wife. Well, I done lost every damn thing I own, Lord. My children and my wife. Well, you lied and you cheated. You ran around on me, and I went down like a circus clown, baby, over all the world to see that. I thought I would cry forever, baby, forever and a day. But you know, I found out when the anger sets in, the pain just goes away. And where the pain goes, nobody knows the day. Well, you cheated and you lied. You did it right to my face. I thought that you loved me, but that clearly was not the case. But you know, I found out when the anger sets in, the pain just goes away. Well, you're out there running around, and you think you saved face, but you know what goes around gonna come around, baby. Lord, gonna get you one day, Lord, yes it is. Somebody gonna lie and they gonna cheat on you, and you curse the day. Well, then you'll find out when the anger sets in, the pain just goes away. Well, and where the pain goes, nobody knows the place. Well, you cheated and you lied. You did it right to my face. I thought that you loved me, but that clearly was not the case. But you'll find out when the anger sets in, the pain just goes away. Well, you'll find out when the anger sets in, the pain just goes away.
Since 1849, Carter Jewelers has been a part of Jackson's rich history. Over 163 years later, we've not only survived, Carter Jewelers has flourished. From generation to generation, we've established a tradition of excellence. Our reputation is built on customer satisfaction, service, and trust. Every piece of jewelry is hand-picked, so you know you're getting the best value.
Nobody says I do like we do at Carter Jewelers.
Come see us and be part of our history.
Johnny Riley here on Nightique, and his music available digitally at Amazon.com and most other locations where you can get music digitally. Johnny Riley and other great blues artists and outlaw country artists from around the Southeast will be our guests on future Nightique shows, so stay tuned. We've always got a surprise for you here on Nightique. You can take a look at our archived shows, including this one, at Nightique.com. Edward St. Pé reporting. See you next time on Nightique.